Hey everybody. I'm laughing because I just turned the camera on and it's like the backside of Henry. Whoops. He's making biscuits. Um, Welcome to Reading the Bible to Cats. And I was gonna do another video here, but I prefer to get Henry's face. Henry, I'd prefer to see your face. Thank you. Beautiful. Beautiful. Give me lion. Good, good. Give me contemplative and studious. That's very good. Thank you, Henry. You're a wonderful model. Okay, well, let's go to Judges chapter 6. Oh, sorry, no, Judges chapter 7. We read chapter 6. Let us pounce on the book of Judges. Okay. Listen, Henry. Early in the morning, oops, sorry. Sorry, everybody, the camera fell. Oh no, and Henry's hiding his face. Hold on. Henry, we would like to see you. I don't want to have to hold the camera. Whatever. Okay, let me just read. Uh-oh. Henry, here. Turn. Yeah, that's cute. Give us cute. Give us cute. That's cute. Very good. Very good. You're a wonderful kitty model. We applaud you. Oh, yes, even cuter. Okay, that's not cute because I can't see you. Anyway, okay, everyone. Well, I'm just going to keep the camera out like that. Let's read Judges chapter 7. Early in the morning, Jerubbaal, that is Gideon, and all his men encamped at the spring of Harod. The camp of Midian was north of them in the valley near the hill of Moreh. The Lord said to Gideon, "You have too many men for me to deliver Midian into their hands. In order that Israel may not boast against me, that her own strength has saved her, announce now to the people, anyone who trembles with fear may turn back and leave Mount Gilead." Oops. I was speaking, not the Bible. Excuse me. Okay. Let's take that verse again, everybody. I got distracted. Verse 4 again. But the Lord said to Gideon, no, I'm sorry. Let's take that other verse again. In order that Israel may not boast against me that her own strength has saved her, announce now to the people, anyone who trembles with fear may turn back and leave Mount Gilead. So 22,000 men left, while 10,000 remained. But the Lord said to Gideon, there are still too many men. Take them down to the water, and I will sift them for you there. If I say, this one shall go with you, he shall go. But if I say, this one shall not go with you, he shall not go. So Gideon took the men down to the water. There the Lord told him, separate those who lap the water with their tongues like a dog from those who kneel down to drink. 300 men lapped with their hands to their mouths. All the rest got down on their knees to drink. The Lord said to Gideon, with the 300 men that lapped, I will save you and give the Midianites into your hands. Let all the other men go, each to his own place. So Gideon sent the rest of the Israelites to their tents, but kept the 300 who took over the provisions and trumpets of the others. Now the camp of Midian lay below him in the valley. During that night the Lord said to Gideon, get up, go down against the camp, because I'm going to give it into your hands. If you are afraid to attack, go down to the camp with your servant Purah and listen to what they are saying. Afterward, you will be encouraged to attack the camp." So he and Purah, his servant, went down to the outposts of the camp. The Midianites, the Amalekites, and all the other eastern peoples had settled in the valley, thick as locusts. Their camels could no more be counted than the sand on the seashore. Gideon arrived just as a man was telling a friend his dream. Quote, "I had a dream," he was saying. A round loaf of barley bread came tumbling into the Midianite camp. It struck the tent with such force that the tent overturned and collapsed. His friend responded, "This can be nothing other than the sword of Gideon, son of Joash, the Israelite. God has given the Midianites and the whole camp into his hands." When Gideon heard the dream and its interpretation, he worshipped God. He returned to the camp of Israel and called out, "Get up! The Lord has given the Midianite camp into your hands." Dividing the 300 men into 3 companies, he placed trumpets and empty jars in the hands of all of them, with torches inside. "Watch me," he told them. "Follow my lead. When I get to the edge of the camp, do exactly as I do. When I and all who are with me blow our trumpets, then from all around the camp blow yours and shout, 'For the Lord and for Gideon.'" Gideon and the 100 men with him reached the edge of the camp at the beginning of the middle watch, just after they had changed the guard. They blew their trumpets and broke the jars that were in their hands. The 3 companies blew the trumpets and smashed the jars. Grasping the torches in their left hands and holding in their right hands the trumpets they were to blow, they shouted, "A sword for the Lord and for Gideon." While each man held his position around the camp, all the Midianites ran, crying out as they fled. When the 300 trumpets sounded, the Lord caused the men throughout the camp to turn on each other with their swords. The army fled to Beth Shittah towards Zerar, as far as the border of Abel Meholah near Tabith. Israelites from Naphtali, Asher, and all Manasseh were called out, and they pursued the Midianites. Gideon sent messengers throughout the hill country of Ephraim, saying, "Come down against the Midianites and seize the waters of the Jordan ahead of them as far as Beth Barah." So all the men of Ephraim were called out, and they took the waters of the Jordan as far as Beth Barah. They also captured 2 of the Midianite leaders, Oreb and Zeb. They killed Oreb at the rock of Oreb and Zeb at the winepress of Zeb. They pursued the Midianites and brought the heads of Oreb and Zeb to Gideon, who was by the Jordan. Everyone, that's the end of Joshua chapter 7. Okay. Interesting about, that what's going on here. It's interesting how the Lord chose the men who lapped water like a dog. I don't know why. Yeah, it's like he chose, it seems to me he chose the weak things to confound the wise or the strong, because Gideon apparently is small and was the smallest of small, I guess. In other words, he wasn't a powerful man. And then it's interesting how the Lord was like, "You have too many men." Yeah, he didn't want them to think, "Oh, it was my strength and wisdom that delivered, you know, delivered Israel out of the hands of her enemies." He wanted everyone to know that it was him, that it was the Lord who did it, not, you know, great strength and power. The great strength and power of men, but his great strength and power. That's interesting. And then that whole dream about the barley loaf. I guess maybe the barley loaf would represent something kind of small and insignificant, you know. maybe that's the message, that that you don't need to have great power as a person, that the Lord uses the small things to overcome giants, you know? Yeah. Reminds me of the feeding of the 5,000 in the New Testament when Jesus, there was this crowd of 5,000 men, and then there were women and children, I think, as well, but they were all hungry and there wasn't any food except for this little kid who was like, well, I'm paraphrasing, I've got um, fish and some pieces of bread here. Anyway, so that's what the Lord uses to feed the entire 5,000, thousands of people. He multiplies that little, the pittance. He multiplies the the little pieces and bits. That speaks to me because I feel like, the message in both books or passages speaks to me, because I feel like that's what, oops, somebody's calling me, everybody. I'm going to have to cut this short because actually this is a very important call. So I'm afraid I can't make a call. I can't say a prayer, but I'll pray after I end this video. Okay, bye.